Amid the ongoing internal dispute within the People's Democratic Party, PDP, governors on its platform said they will meet in Jos to discuss the internal matters and the current state of the nation. The meeting is in preparation for the 99th National Executive Committee meeting of the party scheduled for November 28. It has been reported that the acting national chairman Omar Damagun, the national secretary Sam Ayawa, the national legal advisor, are invited to the meeting. The 98th National Executive Committee meeting, recall, held on April 18, the party leaders approved the formation of a reconciliation and disciplinary committee and the conduct of ward and state congresses, and instructed the North Central caucus to consult on the national chairmanship position. Tonight on Big Talk, we'll be x-raying the concern about their internal, factions and concern within the People's Democratic Party that still looks that there's a disagreement, a lot of concern about the People's Democratic Party. I'm being joined tonight by a chieftain of the party, a distinguished honorable, who of course has been on the program and is back here to give us a sense of the development in respect to the People's Democratic Party, Honorable Mina of four. Thanks so much. If I may not get your name correctly, pardon me, please. But welcome to the show.
Thank you.
A lot of concern about the party, but before we get to the PDP, some development in River State politics, that those are really concerned about how if the judiciary can address all of the issues in our River State, that those are said, can we settle these politically? Can these issues be settled judiciary? And what has really been your feelings about all of the back and forth coming from River State?
Well, I have actually been very optimistic because, I mean, these are constitutional matters, and it's so clear, when the defection of the 27 lawmakers happened, it happened in public glare. Everybody saw it. There are videos everywhere. They had the affidavit to swear to that effect. It's there. It's public knowledge. And so I knew that was just going to be something that was going to be easy to handle because, it's public. There's no way the judiciary will want to stoop to that level of giving them victory for something that the whole world knows, right? So, the victory today means a lot to us, and it means that finally the judiciary is waking up from their slumber and trying to save democracy.
I hope if the situation was the other case, you wouldn't have said democracy is in danger, because that's what politicians always do.
Yeah, but in this case, it was public knowledge. Yeah, so there was no two ways about it. Yeah.
Even the local government election, there was a court order that was to restrict that election, but it looks like the court has also confirmed given legality to that election.
These were just restrictions from one man.
But your party lost out from the election, the local government election.
Oh, well, it's okay.
It was political.
It was political. It was political.
A lot of development. But let's get to your party, because it looks like the crisis is still, being extensive. The North Central, they are saying that it's time for the North. IU was from the North Central as well. And Damagun, there are some other factions that are saying Damagun is a chairman. We had an arrangement that after you, whatever might have happened, that Damagun is to complete the tenure of IU. Are you still sharing that sense?
No, that was not the agreement. Damagun was made acting chairman, not substantive chairman. So there are two things. Okay, there's a whole lot of difference between acting and being a substantive leader. Okay, so IU was not meant to complete the tenure.
Damagun.
Damagun was not meant to complete the tenure of North Central. It was a temporary office he was holding until the next meeting is done, and then there's a new substantive chairman. So, but unfortunately, everybody knows what has been going on in the system, and it kind of dragged up to this point, and that will be corrected, but he's not supposed to, because he wasn't elected. To be a party leader, you have to contest for it. The people have to decide and choose you for you to lead them. That's how it works. And so he was not elected. He was the deputy, okay? And so it's supposed to be that way. But what do we do? This is what we have found the situation to be. But he's not meant to complete the tenure of the North Central. Unfortunately, it could be a setback for the North Central to have a substantive leader to, complete the tenure for their own zone. But let's see how it goes.
All right. I mean,
Yeah.
there are a lot of meetings to project that concept.
Yes.
But what is really bothering Nigerians is that if your party cannot put their house together, how do they intend to enroll this country? Because it looks that from 2023 election, the issues have been prolonged up till now that we are still talking about. We are already rounding up 2024. And they're concerned about a crisis in PDP. They are pointing fingers to Atiku, pointing fingers to Wike, former governor of Rivers State. Do you feel that these two persons are really behind the crisis?
Atiku should not be, his name should not be mentioned as part of the problems of PDP. What did he do?
They said he wouldn't have contested
You
for the
can't
election.
ask somebody to not contest.
These are the argument that the North had just finished the presidency as at that time. That ordinary he wouldn't have contested for the election. He would have allowed the Southern the president to go to the South.
From the PDP table, the North had not completed their tenure. Okay?
Okay, the calculation
Remember,
of PDP.
Yes, from the calculation of PDP, the North had not completed their tenure. They still have 1 year, one tenure to go, okay? And in the first place, you can't even tell a person to not contest for an election. It's everybody's right to contest. You have the money to buy the form, okay. If you don't have, then that's fine, you support. But if you want to, if that is your aspiration, then why not? Why will somebody tell you not to contest for an election? He's never been a president. He was the vice president of Nigeria. And if he wants to contest to be president for as many times as he wants to, it's his money, it's his right. You can't use age against him.
So how about arrangement,
That's
zoning?
what I'm saying, by the zonal arrangement under PDP as a party.
No, they're projecting Nigeria as a concern that Buhari of the North had ended.
Yar'Adua did not complete his tenure. Did anybody forget that? He died. And then it was given to the South leader, which is our father, His Excellency, Jonathan. Okay?
So Atiku was to complete that for the arrangement.
Yes,
he has the ground to contest for that.
Yes.
That those I also feel that is a presence in the party sometimes is not bringing stability.
How is it not bringing stability?
That once defected from the party and then returned
He's not
back.
the first person. He's not the
those
first
that
time
have
it's
stayed in the
happening.
party, invested in the party and built the party.
That's not how it works. Politics is about leadership, and leadership is not about how much you have in your pocket or in your bank account. That's not how it works. Look, for the number of times he has come out, he has actually won the ticket anyway. Doesn't that mean anything to Nigerians? Unfortunately, Nigerians have refused to give him the opportunity. You understand? They refuse to give him the opportunity to lead and let them understand good governance. I'm not saying he's the Messiah, but it could have been better. Okay, now this is where we are.
Is it a problem of the party?
There's so much inflation and all of it because we have bad governance. Okay? Because we have a leader who is, should I use the word clueless? You have a leader, you have a president, and then someone else is dictating the terms of what should be and what shouldn't be. Ordinarily, why should a minister determine what should be in a state? Why should he be the one? You're in a party and you're working for another party.
Is it not for national interest? Because that those are few.
Why should it be for national interest?
The government is an inclusive government.
And you keep rigging elections to favor.
We can't confirm that.
Oh yeah, we can confirm that. We can.
It's already in the court. The matter is already in the
court.
court.
It should be in the court, but we can confirm that because where has
so
this been done?
you feel that we can attribute some of the problem and the crisis your party to former governor Wike?
Of course, and the president actually.
So it was wrong for him to have appointed Wike into his cabinet. Because those are
he wasn't wrong. It wasn't wrong for him to appoint him, but again, it was wrong to give him so much authority and power to do the things he does and get away with it.
So you feel that some of the crisis in PDP is fueled by, this faction?
Yes, of course. And for instance, if you're in PDP, you should be in PDP. If you're in APC, you should be in APC. Unfortunately, this has to do with self-interest and not the interest of Nigeria and its people.
All right.
That's what it is.
All right. That's the development. And those that are really calling on the elders to see how they can begin to address this. A reconciliation committee was set up. Do you feel that they have the capacity to, to reconcile members of the party?
No.
They do not have the
As
capacity.
it is now, the waters have actually gone under the bridge. So there's little or more they can do right now.
But the party have to survive.
The NEC get it right in the next... First of all, they should hold the convention first. They should hold the NEC meeting first.
So
then,
is the Magoon running from holding NEC meeting from what you can see?
We all know the script he's playing. So, I mean, that's public knowledge.
This NEC meeting has been postponed several times.
When you have a leader who is working against his party, what do you think?
Do you feel Damagun is not able to take some decision?
Of course, there are constitutional rights, and if you're working against the constitution of your own party, what does that mean? It means you're just there for yourself and not for the party, not for the good of the party and its people.
And if your acting chairman does not have the capacity to suspend, because he looks at that, those that are having a concern that there are some persons that should be suspended, and the party chairman is saying, look, the matter is so sensitive that if I begin suspension, even people from articles can also be found wanting. Do you feel that suspending people from the party might be the way to go?
Look, they should suspend everyone that has worked against the party.
But from your faction and
from all fractions, they should suspend. That you take it off from there. Because if you don't, this norm is going to seem right and it's going to go on, and we're never going to get it right.
You are not happy about the state of PDP.
Why should I be?
Do you feel your party would have done better? Because
of course.
That those that are looking at it looks that some of the blame have been also been pushed to your party. APC are saying that PDP kept us where we are. You did a lot of borrowing. Your party did a lot of borrowing. Your party, mismanaged some of the resources. Subsidy under your regime.
How is it possible when Mr. President right now was the one who worked against subsidy during the time of His Excellency President Jonathan?
2012.
Yes. Now the same subsidy that you worked against is what you carried out. From the moment he was declared president, even before he was sworn in, he announced subsidy, and that was how the inflation went up immediately. He had not even been sworn in. That's to tell you the power of the president. Okay, so if he also wants to bring down cost of living, the inflation, he can do it by mere mentioning it. And of course, some other things we know, but he has the power to make things better. So but he's not
shouldn't blame your party for the problem we had today.
You can't.
Because
how much was a bag of rice during the time of President Jonathan? For all of the times that PDP was in power, from the time of Obasanjo, His Excellency Obasanjo, to the time of His Excellency
but
Yaradua,
people were still unable to buy rice at the time.
How?
People were still hungry.
Would
you say that we eradicated
poverty? You cannot compare
poverty?
the poverty rate of then and now. Do the mathematics. You can't compare. Let's check out the statistics of then and now.
But that those that are really sharing, even Atiku had shared that subsidy is evil. He had intentions to also remove subsidy. Peter Obi of Labour
For how
Party
long
had intentions to
was this the promise he made to Nigerians?
But if we needed to remove subsidy, don't you mean that...
There should have been alternative measures, of course, on how to sustain the people.
Do you feel the measures put on ground by government is not enough?
Yes. That's what it is. And now they're still trying to borrow, how much is that again?
$2.2 billion.
$2.2 billion, which is how many trillion naira?
Over 1.7.
From same China. Very soon, China will buy Nigeria.
We do not pray for that.
No, but we are getting there.
A concern.
How are we going to pay these loans for crying out loud? What are we talking about?
If your government should not borrow if they don't have.
What happens
because
to our resources?
There are those that have argued that there's nothing wrong about with government borrowing, but rather
but for Nigeria it has become a habit. We're the ones that borrow the highest in the world.
So
we never pay back. We keep borrowing. How do we pay back? They've mortgaged the future of our children, our grandchildren, and our great-grandchildren.
But this government is just barely almost 2 years.
And in 2 years, they've cost us so much pain that a lot of people, even the suicide rate from then and now has increased.
But they have asked for patience that things will get better. Don't you feel so?
For how long? When everybody dies?
Because it looks that the policies are unpopular.
Of course.
Because it looks that they are trying to picture a direction of where they are taking us to. And when you look at the concern of about their manifesto and what they intend to
You
do.
know, it's one thing to have good policies, it's another to be able to implement those policies right. No doubt, he could have had great policies, okay? He could have seen them as great opportunities to ease the suffering of Nigerians and to stabilize the economy. But unfortunately, the way it was carried out, it was too fast without proper, not just proper consultations, but without proper plans on alternative measures, like I said earlier, on how to, it's just like you should have a first aid in the house, okay? Just in case you have an injury at home, you have a first aid to ease the pain before you're taken to the hospital for proper medical attention. That's how it should be. We didn't have that, or they did not put that in place. Now, all they do is, everything we've had from this government is more of threats. Don't protest, you protest, they arrest protesters, they arrest minors even, okay? And you spend a lot of money on palliatives and all. So what is the sense in spending so much money on palliatives?
Do you feel your party would have managed this better? Because
I'm just saying, let's compare from the time when we had PDP.
No, okay, let's leave those times and look at
now.
Upon Buhari's exit in office, that those that said economy was really bad, there was a mismanagement. You were government, even this government, I've also acknowledged the fact that there was a mismanagement of the resources. You know, it looks that things were bad. You know, we are trying to fix all of those mess
they're not
that have
trying
been
to fix
created.
it up. They're rather burying it the most.
Do you feel that there are no solutions, that they are, I mean, floating the naira, removing subsidy, even when the party had shared the same
So you're
ideologies as
removing
the
the subsidy, and then what are you doing with it?
have increased allocations to states for them to improve their
And
states.
how many have paid? Let them start paying first. Remember, unfortunately, Nigeria, being an oil-producing country, is one of the lowest when it comes to minimum wage. Okay?
So it's not enough.
Yes, it's not enough. A lot of people can barely survive. Just like I said earlier, the rate of suicide then and now is even higher now. Because
Do you feel we
work,
should also blame the states?
of course, you work so hard, and then everything you work for goes into transportation. Look, fuel is very, very essential to us. Because, okay, I was going to order for some tubers of yam from Benue State today, and because of the charge of transportation from the farm to the marketplace for her to send it down to Abuja to me, and all of it alone has increased the price of ordinarily what it should have been. Do you understand? So that is what we're talking about. When you have enough, when you have, okay, look at when we had fuel of how much, okay? When fuel was 200 and 300 and all of that, how much to use a community transportation? You could pay 200 naira, you could pay 100, but right now, 100 naira, 50 naira, and even 200 naira is practically useless. You can't even buy biscuits for your child with 200 naira. 1 cube of Maggi is 50 naira. Ordinarily, initially it was, at least, it went up to 20 naira. You could buy 3 cubes for 50, okay? Now you're buying 1 cube of Maggi for 50 naira. So how do we survive then? You see the problem we have now. So it's a lot. You're removing subsidy. You've already done 2 years in office. And you keep rigging elections and want to make Nigeria to be a one-party state. How do you intend to achieve that? What happens to democracy?
So you're really bothered about the outcome of elections in Edo and that of
Who is not bothered?
Do you feel your party won those elections?
Especially the one in Edo State.
You clearly believe so?
Of course.
Because INEC have also given their proofs that APC won.
That's not true. That's incorrect.
So
in fact, unfortunately, INEC under Professor Mahmoud Yakub is the worst thing that has happened to Nigeria. Practically, INEC decides who becomes president.
But people goes out to vote.
people go out to vote. And then INEC declares what they want to declare. And the moment INEC declares, that's final.
They go to court,
and when you go to court, what happens?
Probably to present the facts.
Yeah, but you're going to spend a lot of money doing that.
But your party also had the money to control some state backward in this country, that those that have a concern, that the issues your party is facing today was also...
Why can't you just have a free and fair election anyways? Why is it so much for us to do without the interference of federal government and federal might? Why?
But when your party held swear, was there no federal might in some elections?
In which one exactly?
We should begin to look back.
Yes, to please.
Obasanjo has argued that calling on the president, there have been this backlash between Obasanjo and the presidency, that his policies are not working. And
told you.
And the presidency have also responded. It doesn't have the moral ground to criticize the government of the day. That, you know, Obasanjo doing also within your party, who was the president on the platform of People's Democratic Party, doesn't have the moral ground to criticize what the president is doing today. That because of where we are today is a cumulative, you know, failure of mismanagement of Nigeria's resources.
So from when APC took over till now, what happened? APC has always been controlled by one man, which is the current president of Nigeria.
He has been the leader of the party.
He has been the leader of the party.
If you that also share the problem.
Not share, he has always been the problem.
What if government was not listening?
Like when he was in charge of Lagos too, Lagos was basically like his business. Okay? Lagos was like his business. He's about to do the same thing to make Nigeria his business.
So you feel your party losing election in Ondo and that of Edo and all of those, you're afraid that it's a state capturing move by the ruling party?
Of course, they want to turn Nigeria into a one-state party, which has never happened. This is not democracy.
But your party are losing popularity at the state.
What can we do, unfortunately?
What is the situation? What's the reasons?
INEC, RCX, the State Electoral Commission announcing whoever the big wigs say they should announce. That's what's going on. Not the mandate of the people.
That they said they traded vote, and even your party also tried to participate in vote buying, but it looks that the money wasn't enough.
It's not about vote buying, it's about who they announce winner, unfortunately.
Winners are not just declared that way.
They are declared. They're declared because
I don't know if you've worked in INEC before to know how the
what was posted on the IREVs and what was announced are entirely different.
I mean, you really feel dissatisfied about the election. We know issues of elections in this country. I mean, we can only try to, as much as possible to see how we can improve on the election.
2022 elections, okay? The 2023 elections were not free and fair.
We can't really say.
We can say. Well, we can say. I went out to vote. I don't know if you did.
Everybody went out to vote. The Supreme Court have given judgment on that. But I understand that there's a need to improve on our elections because we have to speak with facts, right there. But let's get to concerning issues that Obasanjo have raised, and the presidency are also tackling him on the alleged corruption that institutions of government, are not working. That was the angle of President Obasanjo and the concern about what this government and the federal government are really looking at too. And that those are still cast their mind back. Was institution better back then? Yes, even if we don't have to point fingers and blaming the past government, we're looking forward to what we can do, to get better. Should we continue to give this government some time? Because there's some persons who said that just barely 18 months in office or thereabout.
Well, I'm hoping that they get it right. Otherwise, there's no need for them to be at the helm of affairs in 2027. But again, will our vote count?
Which party can be in 2027?
Of course, PDP.
Your party are losing the numbers, the disunity.
But by the time we're done,
give you a win.
By the time we're done with reshuffling and putting the right people at the helm of affairs, we could get it right and bounce back and win our elections again.
So you're optimistic about PDP's strength in the country, because at those that said it looks at the Labour Party.
PDP is an institution that can never be broken.
This
I mean, this is our moment.
Is getting bigger and deeper.
Oh, there are crises in Labour Party.
Your party has not been in this kind of crisis before since 1990.
Yeah, so this is a hard one for us, okay? Because we were so sure that we were going to be at the ends of affairs in 2023. I don't like to use the word power, okay? But I was so sure we were going to be at the ends of affairs in 2023 to right the wrongs of the previous government, which of course is APC. And unfortunately, things played out. The election came out the way it did. So we're having a hard time accepting that, because Atiku would have been the better candidate to at least make things work.
Well,
I'm not saying it should have been
that Peter Obi probably. We had the likes of Peter Obi, we had the likes of Kwakwaso, we had the likes of
Atiku would have been a better president.
You feel in all of these four strong contenders with Tinubu, Atiku would have been the best.
Of course, he would have been a better president.
Those that said, what did he do when he was a vice president?
It's okay. It's not about what he did when he was vice president. We're talking about when you're president. When you're vice president, you have little or none to do.
Well, he once had some level of committees that would have also created change in this country.
Still, the president says it all. Yeah.
So you feel he needed the capacity of the president?
Yes, he has never had that full capacity to do things the way it should be done. And that is what Nigerians have failed to realize, that they need to give him a chance. But well, I'm not here to talk about Atiku.
Yes, was the party really pained about the elections in 2015? Because it looks that was how your party lose grip of, power. APC took over from 2015 as a party.
Again, we were robbed in 2015. We were robbed in 20.
When your party was in office.
No, not 2015. 2019.
2019.
Yes, we were robbed.
2015, your party had failed election. Even the president had accepted that he had lost the election. It looks at that shock is still existing in the party. You've lost, your party has begun to lose structures and weight and some state. All right, let's, we're still looking at the deepening crisis in the People's Democratic Party. I still have Honorable Oxford who is still here with us, but let's get to go on a very quick break, everyone. And once we return from the break, we'll be finalizing a conversation. What is the way forward for PDP and the issues that are raised against the acting national chairman, Damangun? To stay with us, I'll be right back. All right, many thanks for staying with us. The struggle for the PDP leadership is still ongoing. The Governors Forum are also meeting in respect to some of this concern and a lot of development coming from the party. We still have an Honorable Oxford who's still here with us. Let's get to, there's organs of the party that those that are having a concern about at the Governors Forum agreed that it looks at the Governors Forum have a whole role to play in resolving this issue. When the River State was in crisis, there were those that really having a concern about what governors are doing to support Fubara and all of that. Do you still feel that they have straight, or does it look that they are also divided within themselves?
Unfortunately, from all that has been playing out, they seem divided, okay? We do not have them speaking or coming out strong to support one of their own. And that is why they will keep having problems. Because, just like the general saying that when it happens to one person, you will not know how it feels until it happens to you. So that's how it is. Right now, it's more like Fubara fighting this battle of survival or trying to break the odds and and
All alone.
yeah, all alone. He has little or no support, and that's why we are actually grateful for Honorable Ugochinyere Ikenga, who has been so visible and vocal enough to speak out and fight, you know, to lend a voice to support His Excellency Fubara, you know. But the PDP Governors Forum have not been 100%, though they are trying. The chairman is also trying, for there's so much more that they can do actually to help, you know, to stand together and fight, especially the South governors and the Southeastern governors as well. This is the time when they're supposed to come together to support one of their own. And that's why I always tell them that this is why the Northerners will always be ahead of us in the game of politics. You will never see them coming out to fight against their own, okay, or leaving their own to fight solo. They will always come together and form that formidable force to support their own against another. This is what we, the Southerners, need to understand, that now more than ever, we need to be more united, to come together to support their own. Today it is His Excellency Fubara, my governor. Tomorrow it could be the governor of any other state from the southern region. What next? What happens when he's in crisis?
So it looks that they have a lot of role to play rescuing the situation.
Yes.
What of the board of trustees? Those that feels the elders are not really speaking. At a time where your party is in crisis, the elders had to be up and doing a reconciling. I mean, try to reconcile the issues right there in the party. You
know, there's a little or nothing to what you can do when you see that the system is already messed up, unfortunately, and the powers are just too strong, basically. And that's because of what we call, again, the federal might, backing one person to cause instability in one party for the gain of the ruling party. That is exactly what's going on. And so how do you begin to fight this? Unfortunately, money is being put out. It's all about money gain, right? So who would want to put out his resources to fight a battle that he knows he's not going to win? I'm talking about suspension and all. Before you suspend a leader, most times it's from the ward level. It's from the ward level. Until he's suspended from the ward level, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. So there's much more to this when it comes to suspension of the likes of the minister and his cohorts.
Do you feel you can attribute to some of, the economic hardship in the country to all of the crisis ravaging many parties today? Because there are those that are very concerned. If people are playing party ideology, because if you look at other clans, if you go to the United States, Republicans are playing ideology, Democrats are playing ideology. Are we really driven by, a single ideology where we are looking at what our parties stand for? If parties are having internal crisis, they are getting divided day by day. Even if you want to say that the ruling party, from the allegations of some persons, are the ones instigating some of this concern, how about, people of character are really driving the force of the party? Is it possible, or do we say it is economic hardship, or generally the problem we have in the country that is affecting the parties, not just to PDP?
It's psychologically draining as well. And like I said, you keep fighting a battle and you know that you can't win. What do you do? Now, the monies that are supposed to be used for development are being used to capture, states, capture zones. And that's why they keep borrowing and borrowing and borrowing, because, again, we're gradually entering election season, right? Local government elections are coming up. Primaries, nominations, and all will start from next year. That's for FCT, okay, and some other states in the northern areas. So you see, with all of this now, there's just a lot of power play going on, and power play has to do with money. It has to do with money. To get this person to do what you want to do is money. To get this person to do what you want to do is money. and all of that. That's why, like I always say, this corruption in this country is not going to end anytime soon.
So it's a very big institutional problem.
Oh yes, it is.
A concern about how institutions and how we can get better. You also pointed the issue that you're dissatisfied about INEC in respect to how they're conducting election, and those are also having a concern that political parties must also show capacity so that Nigerians at all time can begin to know the way to go. But very quickly, as we wrap up, the meeting on Saturday, governors' meeting, do you feel they can have decisive stand? Because marking their camp in respect to governors forum are also having the other offshoot of their concern, and Damagun, the chairman of the governors forum is also having his own concern. What would you feel likely may be the outcome of the Saturday's meeting?
Well, I'm not an oracle.
Yes,
I don't want to
an
say
idea of your as a party.
but,
What do you wish for the party?
I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic. Actually, I'm hoping that the governors forum will get it right this time and try to eradicate the problems we have in the party. Those that are trying to, or that have worked against the party, should leave the party. Just pick a stand, leave the party, and go to APC or Labour Party or ADC, wherever you
so
feel.
it shouldn't be standing here and standing and standing.
It
Everyone
shouldn't
should
be.
belong
That's
to a
not
party.
how it should be. When you're standing for an institution, it should be so that you can uphold the aims and objectives of that institution. You cannot be here and be there at the same time. There's always personal interest. And for as long as this act of personal interest continues, we will never get it right.
A lot of concern. Mina Osfall is a member of People's Democratic Party, Honorable Ambassador. Let me complete your title so much. Thanks so much for joining us on the show tonight and giving us a perspective on that issue. And all the governors that were elected on the platform of People's Democratic Party are meeting just in respect to taking decisions of the party. Acting Chairman Ambassador Damagona, head of the 99th National Executive Committee meeting on Thursday. The meeting is some of the instance of the PDP Governors Forum. Senator Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State is to determine the choice of replacing Damagun, and which has constantly been the problem of the party, leadership of the party. The North Central are holding back their seat and insisting to get back the chairmanship seat, while Damagun is insisting, and those supporting Damagun, that he must be the chairman till 2025 when the party may have a national convention. How this may end on Saturday is still at the fate of the leaders of the People's Democratic Party. That's where we wrap it up here on the show tonight. See you again.